Hi guys, this is going to be a video about the Skyrim Script Extender, or SKSE as it is known. And this video is aimed at people who are fairly new to modding. So if you've installed a few mods and you've come across a mod that you really would like to try, but it requires SKSE, and you're not sure what that is, or you're a little nervous about installing it, this video is for you. So what is SKSE? Well, it's basically a modder's resource that expands the scripting capabilities of the game, and essentially lets mod authors create mods that can do things that would otherwise be impossible. You have to understand that the creation kit does not give you absolute power to create whatever mod you like. There are a lot of limitations, and SKSE attempts to get past those limitations. And we're talking about fairly basic things like detecting key presses the player makes or sending information to the user interface. If you look at some of the mods made for Oblivion, like the minimap, or for New Vegas and Fallout, anything that detected a key press, anything that added new elements to the user interface and then manipulated them in-game, updated them from in-game, they all required a script extender, and Skyrim is not going to be any different. Now, it's perfectly reasonable to be somewhat nervous or reluctant to run your game via a third-party piece of software that was not shipped by the developer. I completely understand that, and in fact I actually encourage that type of attitude. You should always find out what it is you are running. So feel free to ask around, Google, etc. And if you just check out the sheer volume of mods that use them, you'll see that really these things are pretty well accepted. They're seen as normal in the general modding community now. So how does it affect performance? Well, it really doesn't affect performance at all by itself. Obviously, SKSE mods themselves affect performance just like any mod does, but they won't affect the performance any more than normal mods. In fact, several things in SKSE may well actually make it possible to make mods perform better. There are also cases where we've had several mods that have been released that actually improve game performance. That's the entire point of the mod. So let's get started by installing this. Now, you can find it on skse.silverlot.org, and it's a fairly basic site. There's nothing much to it, and you simply need to download the single file. Currently, at the time of this video, it is 1.4.10, but obviously when you watch this video it might have been updated. Download the latest version. And once it has downloaded, I suggest extracting to all the files to a folder. So I've just extracted it to my desktop. I'm going to delete the archive, and I'm going to open this. I'm going to open this archive, and inside I find another folder. I'll leave that open. Now I'm going to open up my Skyrim game folder. Now, if you don't know where this is, it'll be under Steam Apps Common Skyrim. You'll know if you're in the right place because you will find a file called tesv.exe. You'll also find the Skyrim launcher.exe. This is where you need to be. And to install SKSE, you simply go along to the folder you just extracted and select all of the files, not the folder, that's the source folder. It won't matter if you copy this across, but you don't need it. You just need these 6 files. They all begin with SKSE. And move or copy them to your Skyrim game folder. And that's it. The mod is now installed. And that's all there is to the installation, but we still have a tiny bit more work to do because we want to be able to run the game with SKSE. So let me close this. Now, if you're using the Nexus Mod Manager, it's fairly easy. If you are used to using Launch Skyrim, instead of Launch Skyrim, you can just launch SKSE. However, if you are used to using the standard Skyrim launcher from here to play, you need to stop doing that. You can use this to manage your options or your data files if you're using the Steam Workshop, but you're going to have to run the game from somewhere else. What you're actually going to have to do is load the game via the SKSE loader. So you could double click this and it will start the game. However, I actually recommend creating a shortcut for this. I like to create a shortcut for it. And then I drag the shortcut to my desktop. Let me close this. I'm then going to rename this to be SKSE. And just so that it looks right, I'm going to edit the properties, go along to change icon, and I'm going to pick, as you can see here, it opens automatically to my Games Steam Games folder because I do this quite a lot, but you'll find a lot of the game icons you've got in this folder. So for example, I've got the Skyrim icon. Again, for you it will be under Steam Games, and you'll find a whole heap of icons. Hopefully the Skyrim icon will be there. Open, and then OK. Then I click Apply, and OK. And you'll notice now below my normal Elder Scrolls icon, I've got another one saying SKSE. And from now on, that is how I will actually run the game. And it bypasses the loader completely. So as long as you've got your mods updated from the Steam Workshop, or if you're using Nexus Mod Manager, it actually makes it faster to start the game, because all you do now is double click and it starts Skyrim instantly, which is actually rather nice. Now once you're actually in game, you can bring up the console and type get SKSE version and hit enter, and it will tell you the version of SKSE you are using. If you don't get that message, you're doing something wrong. You didn't install it or you didn't run it correctly. But there you go. I am now running the game with SKSE. And so what happens if you need to uninstall it for some reason? Let's say you don't like it and you want to uninstall it, or, and this does happen, the game gets updated and the current version of SKSE doesn't work for the new patch. This happens every time there's a patch, and normally SKSE will take a couple of hours and the team will get it updated and out, but you'll have a couple of hours where you'll have to turn off SKSE and none of your SKSE mods will work. So you should be aware of that. However, when that happens, it tends to reinforce the idea of how much you need SKSE, because you can't live without the SKSE mods. So I actually think it's a sign that SKSE is so essential. But to uninstall it, go back to the Skyrim game folder where you installed it. Go along to where you'll see SKSE log probably, and it'll go all the way down to SKSE what's new.txt, but it's all of the files that start with SKSE. Select them, hit delete, hit yes, and SKSE is gone. It's that easy, and it will leave nothing behind. It's as if it was never there. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped. If you still have questions or worries, feel free to drop a comment on my channel or ask in the Nexus site or the Steam site. I'm sure someone will be able to help you. Have fun.